And hello everyone, welcome to the Gaming Zone. I'm your host Chriz, aka The Mole, and joining me is Anastasia lazerbeam.
Hello.
And Marcus Shadow.
What's up?
And we're here today to discuss the Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel, is it Unlimited I think it is? Either way,
Tamriel
Elder Scrolls
Unlimited,
Online,
yeah.
the console version. Which, yeah, I don't know where to begin with this, but we'll just shoot the shit.
I'll begin
and
with
make
the
it
game is
faster.
awesome.
Yeah, like I said, well, I'll just shoot the shit with that. But like I said, they did a good job because I know that's the one part I'll touch on first. They did a good job making it for consoles because I know some people like this wouldn't work on a console, but they were able to, unlike any other MMO successfully before it, I feel, they were able to take, besides maybe like, what do you call it? Oh, that game EverQuest on PS2. Besides like that, they were able to actually take a game that feels as big and as much like an MMO as this does, and still make it play on a console without losing much of the integrity or anything there. So that's kind of cool.
No, I was actually impressed with the third-person stuff because I was afraid that the third person was going to suck, just based on what I've heard like from you guys and other people who have played Elder Scrolls games. You're like, yeah, you don't want to go third person. They don't know how to do third person. It sucks balls. But with this one, it's seamless and it's very much, MMORPG style. So the third person mode it's so fluid and it feels so much like a third person MMO, and it's just like they did it right, and I'm impressed with that.
Yeah, that's what I'd mentioned before the game came out. I was happy to see that third person view worked, and it was great because they did it well. Because ironically, with the normal Elder Scrolls games, you want to play them first person. This one, most of it, like fight combat wise, you want to play third.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff you can play either. That doesn't matter. But third.
In combat, I go third, but most of the time I do like being in first.
Yeah, being in first when you explore and stuff is perfectly cool. In combat, you'll want to go third just because they actually, if you're in third, the enemies will put like sort of target stuff around you, target indicators and stuff around like your feet, so you know when to dodge and stuff like that, like sort of like MMOs do. And I'm like, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
they did a good job with that.
It's actually kind of funny because in Star Trek Online, I play in the exact reverse in combat, and then part of it is also because Star Trek guns. But I play in combat. I play in first person mode because it feels more like a shooter and it feels more natural. But when I'm running around the world, I play in third person mode because I want to actually see my character interact with other NPCs and with the world and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll admit this game for me personally, I stay in third person the whole time.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked the Elder Scrolls. I've liked them since Morrowind on Xbox, on the first Xbox. However, I always wanted it to be in third person because I always prefer third in games. It's like when I played Star Wars Battlefront, and it'll be the same thing when I play the new one. Even though first may give you an advantage in that, I think slightly better advantage. I'm gonna stick with third for most of it. I always prefer third person view because it just looks visually pleasing. Because on the other Elder Scrolls, as much as I like them, I always felt like, oh, you spent so much time making your character look how you want. Cool, now you're never gonna see him again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's brilliant. But I don't know.
I hate when games do that.
I never particularly spent too much time making my character look how I wanted for them to look, just because I knew I wouldn't see them. So I felt as a relief to not give a shit. But
Yeah, but I always did because whenever I have create a character in a game, I want them to look good.
Yeah.
So I spent way too much of the time on some of them making characters and stuff, and I spent a while on making myself on this one.
Especially MMOs. I think I spend the most time making characters because even if I don't get to see my character, I know everyone else will, and I don't want my character to look like ass.
Yeah, on here I definitely spend a lot of time, but like in offline,
Yeah, on Skyrim you don't because you wouldn't see him.
Right, yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, literally in Skyrim, I could make my character look like, I don't know, freaking Prince Charming from all the fairy tale stories, and Pew could make hers look like Danny DeVito from Twins.
I think you have me confused with the other person here.
And yet, if we streamed it on her channel, Anastasia Lazerbeam, available now on YouTube and Twitch and stuff, or on my Gaming Zone channel, you're gonna see the exact same game. That was the point with that. It's like, what? Yeah. It's like, yeah, I could make my character like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, or she could make it Sarah Michelle Gellar from Buffy. They both look the same, besides the fact maybe her hand might look slightly more feminine, as she's going rah with a sword. That's the only difference.
I don't go rah with a sword. I go like pew or poof, like a magic.
Oh, magic, yeah. That is also true. But rah with a sword.
Since you mentioned the raw with a sword, that leads me to one thing that disappointed me, and it's this same thing. One of the same things that disappointed me with Dragon Ball Xenoverse. They allow you to pick a voice, and it does fuck all. I'm like, what's the point of picking a voice if I never get to hear the voice?
It does some stuff.
Yeah, you hear like yeah or here or like like little things like that.
It's for your attack noises. For this one, I would make the excuse like same similar thing to what I did with Dragon Ball. If you're creating a character, you want loads of voices. How much time would it take for them to do all the dialogue in those voices?
A whole fuckload.
Plus, to be fair, in the Elder Scroll games, a lot, like nearly all the Elder Scroll games, you always pick a voice, and it's just for attack noises and stuff, for some sort of aesthetic thing. But the idea is supposed to be, it's you, therefore it's your voice. Like when I see the questions, it's meant to be in my voice, so they don't have my voice on their record. I hope. If so, I'm waiting for my loyalty check.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I guess to me, if you're gonna allow me to choose a voice, have the voice do something other than grunts, because if it's just grunts, then I kind of don't care.
Yeah, you may not care, but I would also put it to you, if you played a game without grunts...
Well, but what I'm saying is, you could just make it generic grunts. Would anybody really care? Do you need, 10 different grunts? Can't you just make one grunt reel and just be done with it? Because that's all it's for.
Because you may have 10 different grunts, but there's a difference between, say, big, bulky dude going, "Whoa," with his sword, and skinny, smaller dude going, "Yeah," with his sword as he attacks. Like, it's to match up with what your character is.
And I think some of the characters had like accents a little bit, because I'm pretty sure some of them were like yeah or something, and the other ones would be like yeah. I think they had like sort of not only tone difference but different accents.
And if you pick the voice reel of Simon when you attack, he goes huzzah.
That'd be awesome. I would totally choose that voice just for the huzzah.
I'd buy that as DLC. I'd buy that as DLC, just so I can like reappear as a wizard and go huzzah or darling, I'm here.
Yeah. Peg approved.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, like I said, and in case people are wondering why we're doing it this style, originally I was planning to do it and then do the video over the top. The problem lies in that I want to do that and show off all 3 of our characters. We've had various server issues and real life stuff that means we couldn't all get on, so I could show off my character, but my experience with this game won't be the same as Pew's experience or your experience. Like, I've not touched much of the crafting shit, because as you know, that's my peeve in games. I don't like crafting stuff. But unless it's like Minecraft, I don't mind crafting in Minecraft. It's in the title. But I know like Pew likes crafting, which is fair enough.
I love the crafting so much. I have like all my crafting at like level 9 so far.
Yeah.
See, I haven't even gotten started in that because I don't think I'm high enough level to actually get those missions yet. So I've been
have to talk to the right dude, because you can get it at like level 3.
Really, in the first city?
Yes.
And I must have missed him then. Okay, fair enough.
It's the blood elf with the red hair. You just have to talk to her. He's called the Master Crafter.
See, I had her with the little arrow, but she didn't have the little arrow to say I could talk to her until I was like level 9. Then when I spoke, then I could speak to her. I couldn't do it beforehand, so I don't know if it's tied to something.
Weird.
Because I did mine at because I started doing mine almost from the very beginning.
Yeah. But we mentioned server issues, which, to be fair, it's an MMO. I'm not going to take that into consideration when we give a score or whatever at the end,
Although
because they will get better as time goes on.
I got the servers are super busy and they're going to be super busy day one, but I do not like error messages that say you have a 0 queue. Your wait is 30 seconds, 6 minutes later.
Yeah, the problem with that is one of the things they've addressed is the fact the actual queue indicator is slightly glitched right now, and it'll say stuff like you are 1 in the queue of 1 second, and nothing will happen for ages, or you're 0 in a queue of a time. It's like, how can I be 0 in a queue? That means there's no queue.
Yes.
But yeah, they've had some problems with that. But like I said, with people dropping out for other games and with them realizing it and starting to patch it and stuff later on, it'll be awesome.
Now, I will say, despite the issues with getting onto the servers, they are remarkably stable. Like, honestly, I've gone through not a lot, but several MMORPG launches. This is probably one of the smoothest I've seen in terms of server stability, because when I can actually get on, I've had 0 problems. It's rock fucking solid.
Yep, and I will also say I know they're going to keep supporting it and stuff too, because slight spoilers if someone hasn't watched anything yesterday. During yesterday's PC Bethesda announcements and stuff, they announced 2 new cities are coming to this game. I assume you both may have seen that yesterday.
I think you told me about that.
An Imperial City and a City of Orcs.
Yay!
I haven't even got through all the cities in the game yet. I haven't even done half of the cities. I don't think I've done a quarter of the cities on our continent yet. But like I say, it's pretty good. And yeah, like I said, there's loads to do. There's crafting, which, like Pew mentioned, she really likes that, and she's been having fun with that. There's combat. There's mounts you can get. There's pets you can get. There's like dungeons to do. Yep, I have a little dinosaur. And there's
he stares at everybody like crazy.
Yeah, and there is something on there called the Crown Store, which you don't really need to buy anything from that. 99% of the stuff on that Crown Store is cosmetic.
I have to ask you, Pew, are you going to shell out real money for the pet cat?
She has.
And I didn't shell out real money in the sense because I already had it from the Imperial Edition.
Yes.
I don't think it was just from the Imperial one too, because like Marcus should have 500 gold.
Yes.
But not from having the Imperial one. You get 500 gold from creating your character.
Okay, there you go. So
then you get an extra 1,000 if you're a subscriber or something like that, and then you get like 1,000 every month or something like that. But
Pew has a subscription.
No, I don't have it. I just used this 500 for whatever.
Yeah, her cat was like 400. But it was a case that I was just letting the people listening know. But yeah, I bought used real world money to add to that, and I used my 500 plus like 500 more, and I got a costume.
Got the zombie thing, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, I got a thing, something similar, which I don't know if I picked it up or it was a quest thing, but I can turn into a goblin.
Yeah, I'd seen that. Yeah, my thing I got, Marcus, it's a consumable item, because the reason I'm saying Marcus is I know Pew's seen it. When you use it in the game, my character goes and just holds his head for a second as he gets corrupted by all black and stuff up him, and then just turns into a zombie.
Nice.
He's not just a zombie, he like turns into a zombie.
Yeah. And he just looks undead, which is awesome.
You get that freaking sweet helmet too.
But you could still like sprint around and stuff, right?
Yep. I'm hearing echo.
From who?
I don't know. Whenever one of us speaks, I hear them echo.
I don't know. I'm on my headset.
On my headset too.
I'm on mine too, so that's weird.
Weird.
But so I'm hearing it too. If anyone else in the if anyone watching or listening or anything like that hears that. But yeah, like I said, the combat's pretty fun as well.
Yes.
I've done both healing rolls as a mage and damage rolls as a mage, and they both feel very different.
I finally have enough attack to make the guard who tries to run after me for stealing, like, they run away now. But like after a few attacks, they'd be like, you know what? Nope, not worth it.
Nice.
Yes. And I'm like, yes, that's right. Fear me.
Yeah, which I also love. That's in the game. If Pew decides to steal, say, gold off an innocent, non-playable character, she goes to and steals like from someone's house, say a book or a lamp or something. She has to go underground to either fence it or to launder it. You can't sell it on the normal market because it's clearly stolen goods, and I'm like, that's kind of awesome. It's like a whole black market underneath the sea.
Usually what I do, and just because also it's more available to the area, I actually use that stuff as the materials for crafting. So that way I get rid of the evidence and also gain skills.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, I like how depending on what weapons you use and what skill lines you go with, the same class can play entirely differently. Because like my first character was a Dragon Knight, the one on the European server. And I went dual wield with him. I made him a dark elf, and he's awesome. Like I can just one combo kill everything, almost everything. But then when I made my character on the American server, yeah, I hear my voice coming from somewhere else too.
Lower the volume of
Okay.
my Skype, or not Skype, but this.
Okay, but yeah, I can say myself. It's okay. But anyway, on the American server, a little bit. But on the American server, I decided, because I made him a wood elf instead of a dark elf, night elf, I went with bow, so he's a complete ranged character, which was interesting, and it was tough at first because it was hard to get bows, but once I started getting decent bows and stuff, he's pretty good now, but I went with a different skill line, which made him less offensive for a little while, but now it's awesome because I knock him down and I have a power up that increases my heavy attack by 40%. So I knock him down, power up, charge the bow shot, boom, one hit death.
I can make bows if you need more.
Yay! Yeah, I'm working on woodworking, or at least that's what I want to do with this character.
Because I researched like some abilities, so I can like a lot of the ones I have now is resistance to critical hits.
Nice. But yeah, I loved it. With the weapons and the skill line, it's different. Because with my Dark Elf, he's I went the fire line with him. I love the fire line. But it just plays so different, and I'm like, and it's the same class, which is awesome.
It does. It's like with wizards, you have three main class things, but then your weapons will affect it drastically with what you do. Like, for example, there's two different staffs. Destruction staff, which can do like fire damage and all that, and restoration staff, which is used for healing. If you want to make your mage a healer, you have to use the restoration staff tree, not any of its class trees.
And if you want to just be able to have restoration and also do damage, you can have a restorative staff of fire or shock like I have. So basically I'm still doing my fire damage, but I'm also draining your health. Like every damage I do, I gain in health.
Yep. Which that's kind of cool.
Yeah, the Dragon Knight can kind of heal too. It's more self-healing, but he can heal others through the Draconic power line. Like, cause that's all about siphoning health and stuff, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. It's like I would imagine it'd be good if you're building a tank.
Yeah, it's like with my character, I noticed something as well, which you can do in the game. If you explore, you can unlock new stuff. I mean proper new stuff earlier or sooner than other people. Like at the time I last played with him, Crispy was like a level higher or two than me. And Pew was about the same level. I'm the only person who can do his ultimate move.
Because you found it on a wall, right?
Yeah, while I was on one of my missions, I just saw some weird writing on a wall, and I read it, and and after I read it, it said you can now do your ultimate moves. I was like, cool.
How about that? He's got
Yeah,
glowy fists.
yeah, I have shock fists, which they are kind of cool.
Yeah, it probably gave you your. I think it's level. You have to be level 12 in that particular line to get its ultimate. Like I have my ultimate for my Earth and Power or whatever, so I have my magma armor. And yeah, I love that. That's another thing I love is in terms of your skills, like your weapon skills and your class skills and stuff. You can massively level up that without doing a single thing in that line, just by going around and reading books. Because that's what I've done. I've if you go into the Mage's Enclave, like you can go in there and basically level up half your stuff, like 5 levels before you walk out, just by looking at all the bookshelves. It's ridiculous.
Yep. Which I like that, and you can also level up in stuff you don't even do. Like some of the books I've read have given me like one-handed weapon. I'm like, I use a staff.
Yeah, it's because of the book you read, because you read a book on swords.
I know, and I'm just like, that's weird. I use staffs. I don't need this.
It's weird, yet it makes sense.
but you can do that, which is cool. I will say there is 2 issues-ish, or 2 problems with this game I have compared to some other MMOs.
Okay.
Group Finder. You can pick a dungeon. You can find a group. It doesn't take you there automatically. Instead, you have to teleport there manually.
With money.
Yeah, but that's how fast travel normally works in MMOs. It normally costs you money depending on where you're going. If it's like across from from one city to another. But it's a case of that I don't mind. But I didn't like the fact that you queue up for a group and it doesn't take you straight into the dungeon. You all have to teleport and communicate and get there manually. Yeah. But I can also see a benefit to that, so that's not too bad. The other one I have an issue with is I want loadouts.
I was gonna say, what about the town portal?
Town portal from Diablo would be cool, but I want loadouts because I'm sorry, my mage. If I want to do DPS because I'm on my own. Yeah. I should be really easy, and if I go with a group, I should be able to hit like healer, boom, change to my healing staff and use all my healing powers if I chose to do that. Because what the hell am I gonna do on my own in healing roles? Stand there going, I'm healing everyone who's not me, That's not gonna be handy. That's gonna be really shit.
Yeah. I could see that. That would be nice.
Which, what you have to do is you have to manually do it, which a lot of MMOs let you do it. And I will say on the PC one, there has been some mods that people have made where they don't damage the game, they don't affect anything, but you can click stuff and swap. But like if you click staff, you can change your loadout between the 2 staffs and stuff, and I'm like, that's cool.
One minor thing, although it's not really like most people probably don't even care, is that when you use the journal, when you use the map and then look at the journal to see your quest, when you go through the map, it doesn't tell you the level of the quest you're doing or anything about it. It just says the name, and I would maybe one extra line of dialogue on what it is and what level it is. That's all I would want.
If you go into your journal itself, it actually tells you that stuff.
I wish the map would just say the level and be hey, it's this thing. Just one not even 4 words.
One line of description. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I could kind of see that. Well, I will say it's not what the color coordinates is for because there's only 1 or 2 level differences between them. And if they're yellow, they're all going to be around the same type of level. If they're say red, read the fuck out of this.
Yeah, but I had a bunch of greens, a bunch of yellows, and a bunch of reds, and I'm
don't do greens. Don't do greens. Greens are not worth anything unless you get cash off them. Reds are way too difficult. Yellows are just right. It's the Goldilocks syndrome.
Yeah, it just I was thinking, okay, there's a lot of different colors here. I have no idea what these colors mean, so it's not there's. Yeah.
Well, think of it like a traffic light, Pio. Red means stop, do not go there. Green means you're just going to speed right through it to go. orange means. Take your time and you're
I
probably
do that
gonna do it.
now, but I'm just saying, like, at the time, like, before, it didn't, like, have, like, a little traffic sign, like, decoder on the side. Like, I had to figure it out.
I know, but I just mean that's normally how a lot of MMOs tend to do that, is green, yellow, red,
Yeah.
because of that thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until because I had started the Captain Holgan or whatever his name is. I started that arc, and then I went to Bleak Rock Isle, and I was doing a bunch of missions there, and I didn't realize that until I went to look at the missions, and the Captain Holgan mission turned green, and I went, oh, that's denoting difficulty level. Maybe I should go back and do that. But one thing I wish they would do on the map, it's kind of a minor thing, but it'd be nice, is that I don't like that they don't show all your missions. They only show the missions in the area, and I'm like, I'd want to be able to choose from all my missions, because what if I want to go to a mission in another area, and I want to know how to get to the area? Well, I can't do that if I can't select the mission.
You go to your journal, you go to the map, you go to the mission, you go to show on map, and it shows you the area.
Yeah, but to me that's kind of unnecessary extra steps. It'd be easier just to go to the map, click the mission, and just boom, there it is.
I would just say the same thing, only because I went to this new area, which I didn't know was a new area, and I'm like, where the fuck did all my quests go? I swear I had like 10 more quests here, and now there's like 1. What the fuck just happened?
See, I don't mind that because of the thing if you can go, like I said, go to journal and just go show on map. But
Yeah,
I
but
can see how that could be annoying.
Yeah. The first time it happened, I was like, what the fuck just happened? Where are all my quests? But then I went into the journal, and I'm like, okay, they're still there. I just thought I accidentally, like, clicked abandon on them or something.
Yeah, and that's one thing that is slightly more than minor that I think they need to do.
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, I thought she fell, that was all.
Oh, no, it just, I just have a thing with broken glass. It's just my thing lately.
Ooh, if that's broken glass, make sure your cat's okay.
I'm good. I picked it up. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing I really wish they would do, though, and I think this is something that should be done, is do slightly better with, like, help hints and, like, tutorial and stuff, like, with the map. Tell us, oh, by the way, this is for, the colors are for difficulty, and by the way, it's only showing you missions that are in this area.
There's a giant tutorial section.
There is?
Yeah, it's under, is it options or something like that, though, when you go down, like right before you go to log off, the way you go to normally log off, right round there's a part that says tutorials, and it goes through loads of stuff, but some of it you didn't get tutorials on.
I wish they had incorporated that in the game itself.
And they also have, I think, every craftsman, not only do they have like general like tutorial help on like the stuff, but they also have like little extra like hints and stuff that you just talk to them and ask them about it.
Yeah.
Like, and they'll give you like, I don't know, maybe a random of like 1 to 8 hints or something about that specific craft.
Which that's another benefit. The reason they didn't do the tutorials, Marcus, is I don't know how many of them you've played, but that's normally how a lot of MMOs tend to do that. Because the idea is you get in there, you learn the basics, the rest you're going to figure out and stuff as you're playing with other players.
Yeah, see, but to me, like, the map stuff is basic, and in pretty much every MMO I've ever played, that's part of your tutorial. You learn movement, you learn combat, you learn any unique stuff to this game, and you learn, they're like, this is your map. This is what the colors on your, on your mission log means or whatever, and it explains the map a little bit so you don't get lost.
Except for, I'd make the case that, like I said, I'd make the case that they really need it per se, because like I said, every MMO I've played, that's always what color means, is difficulty, and it's always something like red or something like that for really difficult, and it's always like a bright color like green or blue or something for easy. Like, literally, I looked at it and I was able to figure out straight away, like, okay, that's what that means, cool.
Yeah, once you figure it out, it's like cool or whatever. I just wish there was like an indicator like at the bottom just to stay there, so in case I forget.
Yeah.
Because like I'm like the all-time rotation.
It's not that hard to figure out. However, I would say I think the tutorial needs to be there for that. Oh, maybe that's just a personal thing, but because you figured it out, but obviously you and I, it took us a little while before we're like, oh, that's what that's for. Oh shit.
Yeah, but like I said, I make the case for that. It might be, I don't know, it might be because I've played a lot of MMOs or whatever, but the second I looked at it, I knew what it was. It's like if you're doing a fighting game and you see on the main menu arcade mode. You know exactly what that is every single time because you play those games all the time. You don't need a tutorial about what an arcade mode will be.
No, but the description's always
stuff.
there for it.
Not always. Like most of the Street Fighter just has arcade mode. And then you just click and you just go through and play.
One other thing I think this could benefit from, or at least first, like how the skills level up, because I would just compare this to like Skyrim. Like I say, okay, this was the rule in Skyrim. Is this the rule here? That's generally how I figure out like new things. And like stealing, like, which is totally fine. I totally accept this. It's just that stealing, you don't get any actual thief from it. You have to sell it or lockpick or pickpocket directly to do it level up. And I stole like shit tons of stuff, so I had like a 500 friggin' bounty because I kept trying to go in and steal more stuff because I figure at least I'm getting skill for it. So I'll just see what that was, and then I had to figure out you had to sell it. So like with that, I had to figure out, and maybe Mo says it was in there. I'd probably totally miss the dialogue, but I feel like that should be like in red letters, like all the time, like warning: this does not give you fucking skill. You gotta go sell it. Or
well, that's
like,
that's the other thing too. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
And just like just one other thing, I think I don't know if it annoys you guys, but since I love crafting so much, I don't like having to choose between like upgrading my battle stuff and having a perk for crafts. I don't like having like the option.
Oh, getting your skill points for that.
I think like they should have been like separate,
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Just because, like, I don't like having, because I've seen and I've read a lot of stuff where a lot of people who, like, do the end game, what they did is they originally leveled up all of their crafting, and then afterwards, when they had, like, Master Crafter, they completely took off all the perks because they don't really need them anymore because they pretty much have their crafting level they want it, and then respec them all for a battle.
Yeah,
afterwards.
Which that also makes sense, and I'm okay with it the way it is because you get skill points for loads of shit, like various quests. The story quests give you a skill point without leveling up. You get them for finding all those shards and stuff. It's like, well, okay, so you use those points and maybe you want to put them into, say, I don't know, wood crafting, or maybe instead of that you want to put them in light armor, you want to put them in or you want to put them into combat. It means, essentially speaking, what you should be doing, but people won't, but what you should be doing is making your character as balanced as you can with what the stats are available to you. Like, okay, I'm going to make myself this good at fighting, I'm going to help myself with crafting this much, and maybe get these perks off race and stuff.
That's usually what I split it in half. Like, usually whenever I get, like, 2, or if I do 1, I'll do the other one next time. Like, okay, 1 for skill, 1 for fighting, 1 for skill or crafting, 1 for fighting, 1 for crafting. I just split it up in half.
I've not done that. What I've done is I've used it in fighting, race, and world. I've not bothered with the crafting and stuff because, like I say, for me personally in MMOs, I don't like crafting. I'm not going to complain crafting's in this game because, hey, they told us it was going to be in from the beginning, unlike certain MMOs on PS4 and PS3.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, I have no problem with it being there. It's just not for me. But I like the fact you can do that. But I also will say I love the dungeons.
Yeah, before we get into that, that leads into what I was trying to say. That the other thing that it really annoys me, and it goes back to the tutorial thing of a little bit, and it's the fact that a lot of things that I feel are pretty basic stuff that should be a tutorial thing that every character should go through, or at least have the option to go through. It's all fucking hidden, and I don't like that. Like for instance, the crafting thing. We don't know what the prerequisite is to even get the crafting mission. Like, I didn't even know it existed. Molding, get it till it was level 9. Pew got it at level 3. I'm like, if you can get it at level 3, something needs to be there that points you that says, hey, if you want to learn how to craft, go fucking here.
I think it's when I actually think, and this might be weird, is when I accidentally did this thing to start a quest for the Fighters Guild, like immediately, because I was trying to find the Mages Guild, and it says, you just started Fighter Guild's quest, and I'm like, the fuck is this? I think right after I did the Fighter Guild quest, which for some reason told me or gave me an error or gave me some indication about the crafting. I think it's right around there. I don't know if the two are tied, but I kind of did the both at the same time, because I wanted to do the Mage one, and but I said I might have this quest, and I might as well just do it, and whatever, and get the gold out of it. And then I did that, and then the crafting thing I think popped up afterwards.
Because I've done missions for both. But like for instance, the horse thing that Mole and I were talking about the other day, I didn't even know you could upgrade your horse in game without spending real money. And it's like, that's kind of basic stuff that I need to know if I'm going to play this game. How do I find out how I craft? I should know I could be able, I should be able to upgrade the horse. It should be up to me whether I want to do it or not, or take the mission. But I should at least be told, hey, it's here. I shouldn't have to try to find it, because if I didn't have friends like you that play the game and we didn't talk regularly, I probably would never find the horse thing, and I probably would never find the crafting thing. Because one of the things that I do in almost all MMOs, and I did it in this one, is in that first town, I ran around and just started talking to all the people who had the arrows, trying to get as many missions as I can. And I ran across Zip Squat for crafting or the horse.
That's what I did. I just think it's weirdly somehow connected to the Fighters Guild thing.
See, for me personally, I don't know. I think it might be due to like when they did that Q&A stuff to see what people wanted with an MMO. Because I know a lot of people don't like all the tutorials and hand-holding a lot of MMOs do.
They give them an option to skip it, but I think it should be there because like I said, if you just leave it up to their own devices to find stuff, that should be basic tutorial crap to know how to play the game. You're going to have people who aren't even going to know basic stuff like me. Like I said, I never would have found this stuff out maybe if it hadn't been for you guys. Yeah, and I think that's kind of poor game design. I don't like that.
I'm going to say it's not poor game design. Only because, and you can back me up on this one, Pew, it's called Elder Scrolls. The big part with the Elder Scrolls is exploring and finding stuff for yourself, so you feel like you've just discovered something awesome. Like, oh my god, I just discovered how to craft. And then over here, oh my god, I can now do this. That's what the Elder Scrolls do, and that's what this game does. It's not like hand-holding like DCUO, where everyone has the exact same experience. This is about freedom.
Yeah, which I'm not saying they should, but... Which is fine, but for basic tutorial stuff, like for maybe the first 5 or 6 missions, whatever, I'm sorry, for an MMO, I think every character, unless there's certain racings, which it could be certain race missions too, which varies it, but for basic stuff to learn how to play the game, everybody should have the same missions, so everybody's on a level playing field, so everybody knows the basic stuff. To find out more advanced stuff, or to, you go explore, you do the side missions, yeah, you go find the side missions, you're not going to be said... told, go here for the side missions, but I feel that there needs to be, just a basic run around the city kind of mission arc that teaches you about the city, about, this is the marketplace, here's your crafting, you can start your crafting here if you want, and then it ends with, okay, this is where you start your main quest, go into the world.
That's what I think.
I personally don't feel that, because, like I said, with it being an Elder Scrolls game, it's been adapted to an MMO setting, but it's got all the tropes. You start as a prisoner.
And I think that's actually what the Master Crafter thing did. It was actually, because it's the same chick, just goes around the city with you and goes to all the places. Yeah. So I think it's actually kind of like that, because she's just one chick who does all the things, and she kind of just teaches you around all the place.
She does, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, you start off as a prisoner, then you go out, and then your character discovers when he can craft and stuff when you discover it, because it's all about the role-playing experience of being tied to you. Complaining that the Elder Scrolls is free would be like complaining Star Trek is set in space. It's based on the Elder Scrolls. This is what all the Elder Scroll games are supposed to be. In a lot of regards, you can't do that. It's like, I'm going to complain if I play all the Star Wars The Old Republic because that person has a glowy sword.
And also, just to clear, point out one fact, that there is a tutorial in the very beginning, which if you make a second character is skippable, because if you've already done it before. So I just wanted to say, make that one clear too.
Yeah, you can skip being a prisoner.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying is, yes, give an option to say, do you want to go through the tutorial missions? If you say no, then you get to go out and explore and discover the crap for yourself. But if you want the tutorial stuff, then you say yes, because of the fact that they've made this an MMO, it's like you can't, and I know this might sound bad and this might, sound not right coming from me, but I would say this game can't be strictly for Elder Scrolls fans, because you're going to get people like me who, I've never played an Elder Scrolls game in my life. You know why I got it? Aside from wanting to play with you guys, because it looked awesome, and because I love MMOs, and it's in a setting that I like, with the medieval setting with wizards and swords and crap like that. And you've got to cater to a broader audience, but you can leave an option in there for those hardcore Elder Scrolls people who want the Elder Scrolls experience to say, no, I don't want to go through tutorial. I want to explore for myself. Okay, you could do that, but don't force people who have never played an Elder Scrolls game to go through that, because they're going to be fucking lost, like me. Like, there's going to be base stuff that, as an MMO, you will need to know to play this game properly and build your character properly that they're not going to know. And I don't think that's fair to those people, personally.
Which I say, well, those people have World of Warcraft and stuff for that. This is for those fans. That's like saying, well, do you play Star Trek Online? Cool. Does it have to go into all the stuff and tell me how everything about this world works? Or do they expect you to figure some stuff out because Star Trek?
Well, with the Star Trek stuff, yes, but it does have...
That's the point.
No, it's not. It has the basic tutorials of telling you, this is how the UI works, this is what the things on the UI mean, this is how you play the game. After that, go explore. Elder Scrolls Online doesn't even fucking do that. Yeah, I said, basic stuff like the crafting, I didn't even know about that shit. I knew it existed. Yeah, I didn't know there was someone who told you this is how you craft. In every MMO I've ever played, that is a base thing. There is always part of the tutorial.
This one said it's not like those MMOs specifically.
In all those many MMOs you've played, they never once had a color indicator to tell you difficulties about mission when they've all had that.
And also, I think they specifically went on record to say this one is not like other MMOs. So
yeah, they went on record. They went on record of saying this isn't your typical MMO, and they went on record of saying this is for the Elder Scroll fans.
Yeah. So they kind of did, put that out there.
No, it's like complaining if you buy Madden because, boo, I don't know football.
Yeah, well, I didn't read that, so my bad. But, I mean, even, like I said, with the color thing, it's like, yeah, fair enough, that's kind of, what it is now. But at the same time, even in some of the other games, yes, it has it on there, but like Pew pointed out, they usually at least have, like, a level indicator, of like what the level actually is, because you have the difficulty, but you also would like to know what level it is, so you can, because the difficulty is a range, and and I know I'm sure this is kind of where Pew's coming from too. Is I like to have the level number up there so I can plan. Okay, I'm going to do this one first because it's the lowest level mission on my thing. And having that one-line description so you know what it is, because if you have like fucking 20 missions on your thing, you're not going to remember them all.
This is true. I did actually the green ones just to get rid of them so I could do the higher level ones. Because if they're not repeatable, then, that's it. They're done.
See, I just did what I normally do. If I end up getting too many missions and I got loads of low down ones, I'll just abandon a few.
Oh, a lot of them are really easy because I'm so high level, so it only take me like 5 minutes to do what should have taken me like 30. So I'll just do it, get the gold, and move on.
Which, like I said, that's what I love about this MMO. I love the fact a lot of it is made for Elder Scrolls fans, which is awesome because Elder Scrolls did start as a game. They should embrace that. Oh, it's not Elder Scrolls.
But there's so many different ways to play.
And there's also enough MMO elements that it's pretty fun. I do enjoy the Elder Scrolls Online on PS4. I have been enjoying that.
It creates a really unique experience, so you could go back and make multiple characters because you can't have everything with one character. So that's pretty cool.
The only problem I've had control-wise or anything like that in the game is my own personal thing.
You got stuck as a ghost.
No, not that. What I keep doing is what I keep doing with the PS4.
Okay.
I keep forgetting the touchpad is a button.
Oh yeah, that happens to me too.
Like sometimes it's like, so it's not the start button, and that's called options now. So it must be the other one. So I press share, and it's like, no, I don't want to take a photo.
See, I use the touchpad all the time because that's your mount horse button. So and I use the horse all the time.
I didn't even know how to mount a horse, so I was like, how do I do this? Well, I got
used to holding on to mounting the horse, and I like the fact, like some of the other Elder Scrolls games, as you're getting off, if you crouch, you can completely skip the animation.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Nice. I do. One thing I do really like about this game that I don't think any other game has done that has mounts, you can dismount on the fly, whereas on other games, you have to actually stop the damn horse to mount. as you're running by, as I'm running by on the horse, riding by, I'll just hit R2, and he'll literally hop off the horse on the move. I'm like, that's awesome.
Or you can do what I do to get off my horse.
Drown the horse.
Exactly. I've done that before now. I've jumped off a cliff into water with my horse. Boom, just swum out. I'm like, I know, I'm fine. I'll
What
get
if
another
you're in a
horse.
high area? You use the horse to take the fall for you.
Yeah, even though it can still kill you if you take the brunt of it.
Yeah.
But, which, like I said, the dungeons. I love the dungeons in this game.
They are brutal.
Yeah, I don't really haven't had much multiplayer experience. One thing I do like, and I'm not 100% certain about this, but it seems like monster tagging doesn't hurt the person that you're tagging, which I like, because like I've had it before where like when I was early level, I'd be in some dungeon or something doing a mission, and I'd be hurt, and all of a sudden I'd see this fireball come flying out of nowhere and incinerate my target, and I still get like loot for the target because I've been fighting it, and I'll have to see this mage walk by who's like level 10. It's like, thanks for saving my life, dude.
You had to be really careful with that because I don't think it's not. I don't know if it's a set in default or whatever, but I did the same thing with like the tagging for what do you call it, spells or whatever. But like I sometimes will attack innocent people by accident, and I had to like switch it so it's like don't attack innocent people. But also if the innocent people attack you, like Mole said, you can't attack the innocent people back after they attack you. They're not innocent anymore when they start attacking you. But
I've had that before now. Where I had that where there was these insects right on the edge of town. And I was fighting them, and what they do is they shoot like this fucking acid thing. So what I was doing is rolling backwards to avoid it out the circle.
Right.
Cool. The second I did that, I crossed into the town. It ran in to get me, then suddenly stops and runs off. And as a result, I ended up going boom and blasting like the innocent person in town next to me. And I'm like, what? And it's like, you're now wanted by the police. So I turned that off. Then when I was stealing stuff from one of the house, I think it was like a monk, because I try not to steal, but when I do, it's like if you're gonna do something wrong, do it right. I chose a monk.
Yeah.
I'm stealing all the stuff off this monk guy, man. Suddenly he's like, "How dare you!" and he starts to like punch me, and I'm like, "Okay." I go to hit him back. I'm like, "Wait, I can't attack him." No, I turned off innocent people. Damn it! And I ended up going around the circle till Crispy came in and just went boom and killed him. And then he's like, "Okay, come," and I'm like, "Thank you." But yeah, dungeons are awesome. Dungeons are really brutal in this game in the best possible way.
Yeah, like there was this one like side boss, and we couldn't even defeat the side boss when we did the main boss because it kept spawning little like minions and stuff, and we couldn't like do the minions because the fucking crab chick was making all the fucking babies, and we couldn't get past her. But we did the one main dude, which was actually easier because he didn't spawn anything.
Because she kept spawning all those like little crabs, and we were in tall grass, so you can't see them, which made that problematic in like the most fun way. Because I had no problem with keep dying and trying again. It's fun, and it's one of those things that's just fun. I loved the first time we did a dungeon when we discovered one and we entered it, and we were like, okay, cool. Oh, wait, there's a boss, cool. And we defeated the boss, and we're like, yes, it's over. And we're like, wait, how come we haven't got any loot for this? And then we see more enemies down the hallway, and we're like, wait, what?
There's multiple bosses?
And then we walk forward, and then we have to kill them, and we have to kill another boss, and then
there was like probably 4 bosses, and I think each boss has their own set of like 14 guards, which take like 3 or 4 lives to defeat until you get the actual boss.
Which I'm used to some stuff like that in MMOs, but a lot of times that's more for like the high-end stuff. And I'm like, wait, if this is how the low-end dungeons are, I can't wait till endgame.
It kind of actually makes you think like a little more like, I don't know, I'm gonna say real, but like we take out the fucking dudes and then like they're not gonna like they don't respawn unless you have like that one thing with the evoker or healer or whatever. But like we took them out, we took out the guards, and now we can fucking go for the big people. It's not like, hey, we're just gonna attack everybody and everything at once like crazy.
Yeah.
We actually had like some kind of like system or plan or like thing.
That sounds awesome. I can't wait to do that stuff with you guys. One thing I do have to say that I like about this, I like the simplicity of basically the attribute system and stuff, where you only have health, magic, and stamina, and it's tied to the 3 bars. If you have health, you have a magic bar, you have a stamina bar, and magic and stamina are related to what you do. I kind of like that where magicka is your magic, your spells, and your stamina is like your weapons and stuff like that. And
It's
so if you
also
up your stamina stat, it increases like your weapon damage. I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Stamina is also dodge.
Yeah, it's your dodge, your sprinting, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was just saying, actually, you said it's your sprinting and your weapons. I was like, it's also your defensive, like, roll out the way of fucking fireball.
Yeah. I love that they basically made it so that like, stamina is literally your capacity for physical work.
Yeah.
And magicka is your capacity for using magic. And I'm like, it's simple, but it works.
No, it's like I said, I've played a healer on this as well as DPS. I like the fact when I was a healer, one of the things I did is I was only a healer if I have to be. I mean, I'm not going to do your jobs for you, if that makes sense. But for the dungeon, I was like, oh, yeah, I'll go healer. And I literally just ran around next to Crispy and Pew, and I was going, boom, doing one of my healing spells, then summoning a crap load of healing circles on the floor, one after the other. And the difference in that fight from when we did it without a healer was dramatic. Like, everyone stayed alive, and we just ate through a load of people at once. And it's like,
was very
that's
helpful.
awesome. And like Crispy, and it was fun because, like Crispy said, he wasn't expecting me to keep him alive, like Pew wasn't and stuff. I just did it because I could. And I'm like, well, it's completely optional, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One thing that amused me that's kind of loosely related to this, because I didn't know you could do this on the PlayStation 4, but it was after I created my character, and I think I was playing GTA or something, but I was sitting there, and all of a sudden I got this little message in the corner that said, somebody liked one of your actions. I'm like, the hell? So I went in and looked, and Crispy had liked my action of creating a character in Elder Scrolls Online.
Yep. Yeah, on the what's new section, you can like it, and it's trophies, it's some stuff like creating characters for the first time. It's also your tweet, so you can like it on there or go straight into Twitter and retweet it and stuff. It's like it's very social in that regard, and I'm like, it's social in the best way. Yeah. I.e., it's social, so I can say, okay, this person likes it, but I don't have to talk to them.
Yeah, it just amused me that Crispy liked the fact that I have Elder Scrolls Online. I'm like, really?
I think he just liked the idea that you created a character because he wants to kill him.
That could also be.
Crispy's like, yay, my easy PvP target. Select.
And I think he's the first like bow and arrow tank that I've ever seen.
Yeah, Crispy's an awesome with his bow and arrow. Crispy's awesome with that.
He's a tank, so what, he's a Dragon Knight?
I don't know.
Well, technically, other
what
things.
His class is.
I think he is a Dragon Knight, but I will also say, for the record, other things can tank besides Dragon Knight.
Fair enough.
Like, if you're the Imperial, like the race I am, some of your actual ability, like race-specific stuff, is like toughness and all that type of stuff that a tank would need.
Alright,
So
he's got sword and shield.
Yeah, like people have made mage tanks and stuff.
Yeah, because if you get like draining, like a powerful enough draining and attacking staff, you could I could see like totally tanking with that. Because on the 3 or 4 second recharge, you could do a main attack and then have your other attack being the drain and heal, so you could stay alive.
Well, if Crispy's playing it as a tank, I'm assuming he's using draconic power.
I'm not sure. We don't even know if Crispy is literally being a tank. But he's just he's an unstoppable fuck.
Yeah, he's pretty much just the one who does the most damage and doesn't die very easily.
To be fair, he's doing the most damage because while he's doing the damage, I was next to him throwing up healing spells and keeping him alive.
This is also true.
Which I think that's really handy. I like the fact the roles are kind of like that. And you can have that freedom. Which also, we'll wrap this up now, but I will make a suggestion to all of you. It's up to you which one of you two says yes or not, but next year, sometime at the start of next year, during the inevitable video game droughts that happen near the start of the year, who wants to go back and do a year retrospective of this? Because we'll have like the 2 new cities, all the patches, all the new stuff they've added.
I'm okay with
launch and stuff. Because MMOs are constantly evolving, so we can constantly keep doing this.
And I think by that time we'll actually be able to talk about with Jeff what party is like, with all 3 of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Possibly. He may get busy next week as Batman. I'm Batman. No. I'm looking forward to Batman.
He's joking. He's not actually Batman, just in case anyone was confused.
Remember, I didn't pre-order that game.
I'm gonna say yeah. If anyone's confused by that, I'm gonna use air quotes. I'm not Batman. I'm totally Batman.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing what you think of that game because, like I said, I'm not getting it yet. So.
Yeah, the other day I was in my kitchen and I saw a bottle of beer on the side. I was like, okay, what am I going to do here? And I pulled out a bottle opener from my belt, opened it up, and I was like, oh yeah, I just pulled out a gadget from my belt. I'm so fucking Batman right now. Then a kid came up to me and I abused him. Like, yeah, I'm so Batman right now. I'm kidding. I did not mentally abuse.
Your poor nephew.
I did not mentally or physically abuse a child in the same way that Batman does. And I'm saying that in case people thought I was making a really inappropriate joke, which I wasn't. But yeah, I personally, for me, I'm gonna say I'd rate this as a buy. If you like the Elder Scroll games, buy it. If if you've never played the Elder Scroll games and this is like your first MMO, I'd say you're gonna need training wheels, so something like DCUO or Star Trek Online, or
I would have said at least watch some gameplay.
Any of those, World of Warcraft, the ones that hold your hands and stuff. It's like start with them, then go to this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This is the adult MMO. The other ones are for kids.
I would also say
that's
watch
how this feels.
About this. Like watch a let's play, like a good chunk of a let's play to just see like not story missions, but just see like certain aspects to see if that's something you want to do.
Yep. Well, you know what they need.
Watch a gameplay trailer. That should be enough.
Well, you know what they need to make, Pew?
Yeah.
The Lego Scrolls.
I
would totally play that. Imagine you'd play that too, like first-person Lego game where you could swap to third and stuff, and you're like, oh my god, yeah, I made my own class. But
absolutely.
Yeah. What do you two rate it? Because like I said, I rate it as a buy if you're into the Elder Scroll games.
I agree. I rate it as a buy even if you're not into it. Like you said, unless this is a first MMO for you, I don't think this is a good first MMO because of the lack of tutorial stuff. However, if, like me, you're a seasoned veteran in MMOs, you've played MMOs before, yeah, there's going to be some things you're going to have to learn with it, but on the whole, for a veteran, you can kind of jump into this game. And so, yeah, if you like the subject matter, i.e., like I got into it, like I said, because I like medieval time stuff, like with knights and swords and shields and, you know what I mean, wizards and stuff.
And yet you didn't play Dragon Age.
No, I didn't. But yeah, I would say definitely jump into this game. It's really fun. It is Bethesda, so I know there's some people out there who are like, ooh, Bethesda. So I will tell you that up front. If you don't like Bethesda, yeah, I mean, if you're willing to give them a chance, go for it, because this game is really good. But
it's also,
yeah,
it's also worth noting, this isn't the same Bethesda studios that worked on all the Elder Scrolls games and Fallout and stuff. They have had other people who haven't worked on them do this before now to make it more MMO-like. So some people have even made the case it could just be an MMO with Bethesda elements, but...
Mm-hmm. The other thing we should also note, and they did say this like in the articles and stuff, but for the sake of the review, there is no text chat. If that's part of your consideration for whether you want to get into the game, there's voice chat only. So just take that into consideration as well.
Although there is ability to turn off the chat or section your chat to limit it to guilds, parties, or groups.
Yeah,
and
that's within the game.
And you can even turn down the voice volume altogether, which is good.
Which is good because. Yeah, no one's want to be like, join my guild,
yeah.
Who wants to buy this thing? And I'm like, oh my god, please just go back in time and kill your mother.
That's why I said I'm really happy they removed text chat. I know some people are like, but I'm too lazy to plug in a headset. Then you don't get to talk. But it's a case
I hate seeing that stuff and hearing it, and it just get the fuck away.
That's all we ever see on normal MMOs with text chat is you just see bombardment of like, there's a staff for sale. Hey, did you know I'm selling a staff for sale? Did you buy my staff? Hey, did I ever tell you about my staff? Oh, by
I'll
the
give
way,
you 10 gold if you tell me. Let me tell you where to shove it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear this all the time. I don't care that you're selling the staff or a robe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because idiots don't know how to switch tabs, but yeah.
It's also because, let's face it, it's not just idiots. On MMOs, a lot of people just like to spam for the purpose of spamming because they think it'll work. And sometimes it does. But yeah, I was your host for this one, Chriz the Kid Mole. Thank you for joining us for The Elder Scrolls Online. And yeah see you soon.